Welcome back to What's on the Agenda podcast. We are here again with another episode on a Sunday. I don't usually open up the podcast. I'm like, this is
Right, and
not flowing very well.
yeah,
It's usually,
yeah,
what are you navigating, Raven?
exactly. That is true. It's because we're so excited. Such good things coming down the pike. We're growing and showing. Welcome. What are you navigating?
So, what am I navigating? I did have something. I've just been bored with life.
Oh,
Um, so I will say this. Oh, I got a funny one. Okay, well, but I'll say this. Desmond has been working for the last like 9 days, and I think I've been cooped up in the house so much because of the rain and stuff like that, and I haven't like had a lot of adult interaction. And I don't know if y'all know, but the feminist movement literally started, or part of the feminist movement started because white women were tired of being home by themselves talking to 2-year-olds. So they were like, I gotta get back to work. Yeah, I totally understand. But I do work, so we can talk about Black women and the historic things of them always having to work. But anyway, yeah, I think this week I've just been kind of, I was about to take somebody some baby clothes and they canceled on me, and I was like, oh, I was really looking forward to getting out the house.
oh, actually, so precious.
But then I felt lame because I'm like, oh my God, like that was my highlight of my day. Like that was the highlight of my day. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was the highlight. Like that is so sad. So then I just had this whole like moment, and I've been kind of dealing with that. I think I'm probably just lonely. So, but Desmond is off today, so he's downstairs with Frederica. They're taking a nap, and what I'm navigating is not knowing how long I've been in a relationship.
Say more, please. We're dying to
Okay,
know.
so Desmond has these Ray-Ban glasses that record, and he gave them away. And I was like, you gave them away? You didn't even use them that much. And he was like, yes, I have, blah, blah. So I'm like, I get in the shower. So he says, I've had those glasses since before we were together. And I was like, I was with you when you bought the glasses in lens crafters. Like, was helping you pick them out. Like, I was like, your time is so warped. And then I'll get in the shower, I get out. I was like, Desmond, how long have we been together? And he was like, 4 years. And I was like, no, we have not. It's going on 6 years. So he gets mad. I'm irritated. Blah, 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 blah. And to be fair, I'm like, Desmond just threw out a number. So I text Tatiana because the only way I know me and Desmond.
So I text somebody outside of the relationship.
The only way I know how long we've been together is how old her son is. Because we started.
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. This girl. Y'all, how long have I been together?
I don't know the date. Like the story of me and Desmond is tragic. I don't know the day. I don't know nothing.
This is, y'all are insane.
I texted her last night and I'm like doing the math. I said, oh shoot, he was right. So we only been together 4 years.
3, carry the 1, take away the sadness, bring about the happiness.
So he calls. He's like, call your friends. We got to talk about this. And I was like, for what? I just apologized.
Okay,
We got to. He's like, no, because I need to know if I'm right or wrong. Because he was like, I want you to go cook me some pancakes, some bacon, some eggs, and some
period.
like, I apologize. The action that I did was with my words. I said you were wrong, and I apologized, and I humbled myself and said you were right. He's like, no, I'm not accepting apologies till you cook me breakfast. Yeah. So he called my friends, and whose side were they on? Whose side were they on? His. I said,
No, we really have internalized. We can't help it because here I go to my period. Cook for him. Like, wait.
I apologize. And my point was, I was gonna probably cook breakfast anyway. I just don't need you to demand that I cook breakfast.
Right,
Okay?
right.
That's me feeling sorry.
Hilarious.
That's me feeling bad. And let me cook you breakfast, right? But he was right. I tried to make him even more of the villain. He was like, you always try to make me the villain. I said, well, to be fair, I'm sleep deprived.
Oh, schnookums. Oh, schnookums.
I have mommy brain.
Listen, honey, because until she's 5, you gonna have it.
For
That's the
real.
story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
But also, to be fair, when we celebrated, quote unquote, I said this is why people celebrate their anniversaries. Because when we celebrated last year in November, it was 5. Did anybody correct me? No.
Mm.
Why would I not think we're going on 6
Okay,
years?
okay.
So, and I'm like, yes, you're always going to be the villain. Men are always wrong, but don't take that from this podcast show.
That's my politic. That's my politic.
They're always wrong. If I wasn't so tired, I would know. If we celebrated our anniversaries, we would know.
Sound about right to me.
Yeah. So that's what I'm navigating. Is I have zero clue how long me and my man have been together.
But the point is, y'all are together.
That's
Huh?
okay. You sound like
Huh?
him. You sound like him. Yeah. No. That we
No,
still together. Time is flying past. Like that was cute. That was cute. But you don't know when we got together either. He said we got together in August. I was like, we got together in November. I do know that.
the
The
point
years,
is,
I don't know. The month I got.
y'all got Frederica. Y'all got happiness. Y'all got home.
Got a home.
That's the point. The point is, y'all together.
Well, we have an established, let's say the whites and established 2000, blah, 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 blah. No, it'll say question mark.
So the white, somewhere between call Tati. Ask Tati her son age, and then it will be period.
Take away one, add a couple months.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love that. I love
She goes,
Virgo.
then she
Happy
said,
anniversary.
it could, it could be a Monday. I don't know. It could be Tuesday.
Anytime, right? Happy anniversary, Morgan.
She was like, you can't go back in text messages. I was like, there's years of text messages. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got
I don't know
together
if
off
I
an
can.
argument on the phone.
Yeah, especially the way when I get I delete.
Oh no, man! I don't delete a message. That's gonna take all my storage. Okay, I need receipts.
It's actually kind of true though. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, what are you navigating, Raven?
Girl, I'm sitting. No, sorry, I'm sitting here reflecting. I'm like, dang, how long? I'm thinking about like time frames. I'm like, how long have we been? Anyway, what am I navigating? Oh my gosh, I'm navigating Beyonce. Let's just leave because like she just deserves a moment. But more specifically, first of all, yeah, shout out. We're gonna get some a clap audio because seriously, because she is owed all of the things this week for the heartstrings that she was able to pull on, the collective countrywide. I'm glad you said that though. But yeah, Beyonce was able to collectively pull on the heartstrings of the world with bringing out her lineage, her legacy, her droplets of beauty in her children. I was just riveted and I have no words. I felt all the things. My friend sent me the video the following morning after her first night. And I kid you not, you know how people say, oh, I just watched this 50 times. No, I watched it 50 times back to back. However, why is this in the navigation section, Raven? Because I be struggling. Actually, no. Let me be more clear. I know people's upset. Although I will say I haven't seen this that much, but because we deep girls, I think about it. And then when I saw a few of them, I just, felt the thing. Because I saw a few comments about nepotism and like, oh, undeservingness and all of the things from people. And actually, what is girl, that's how much I love them. I'm like, wait, what is our but I need to make it because I can't make the argument. What is it? It's nepotism, but it's also
you know what I was thinking? It's reverse nepotism. It's impossible nepotism. Like
it's low key, actually reverse nepotism, girl. Wait, but what was we saying on the phone? Yeah, I guess it was just nepotism, right?
yeah, and that you was just saying that black women deserve like okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't care. Actually, it's funny because in real time, I'm like, I don't even classify this as nepotism. It is, but it's not. It's the reason why it's not is because it's theirs. It'd be different if like Beyonce got her a position in a movie.
Right.
Technically did. But yeah, it'd be different if it was a platform that was somebody else's, but this is theirs. And
Right.
so if I'm able to build something and then put my daughter at the center of it, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
She went
Like,
to work with her
especially
mother.
since it's ours. What'd you say?
She went to work with her mother.
I love that actually. And
Mhm.
yes, yes. So actually, sorry, take all that back. No, I don't care about the little 2, 3 comments. Yeah, I won't even say nepotism. It's the kind of lineage passing, legacy building
Yeah.
that we actually love to see. This wasn't
Yeah.
nepotism, actually. Real talk, it actually was. It was legacy passing. And last thing I'll say,
Exactly.
did you notice how she been showing all her videos of her, like she did a montage of her videos from the years, and
Mhm.
she's dancing much less. She had Blue come out in a dance routine that she did in 2006. Like that girl is we're literally actively watching her. And first of all, how fortunate. Okay, I'm going way too far, but that we're getting to see Beyonce in real time past this. I think this is so cute. But that's it. So
No,
I just, yeah.
this is okay, so I have the feelings about Beyonce, or had the feeling both. Um and I think even when my ideas of like even want to be a hater on nepotism's part, I can't because we were talking about Miss Tina Knowles putting out her book, and you were telling me about tell me about the things that Tina went talked about because I ain't watched no videos for real.
Tina was essentially saying that her great grandmother had 10 kids by her slave owner. So that's
Mhm.
how they got the white lineage essentially in their bloodline. I think it was a little bit further up, but essentially that was where it mostly came, and why they are so fair skinned and like have all the Creole with the Bama, Texas Bama, that whole thing. And so yeah, so her Miss Tina, not Beyonce, but her great grandmother had 10 kids by her slave owner, and 3 of them, which she's a lineage of the 3,
Mhm.
were essentially bought and like sold into a white family. That I brought that up to you because and it was a whole bunch more. Y'all should read her book, but it was a whole bunch more about essentially how her dad almost got crushed under the weight of like a railroad mine that he worked in, and the law was, oh well, we can't go in and save him. Sorry, it's against the law for us to go back in. And her brother, Miss Tina's dad's brothers, essentially broke the law and went to go save him, and he stayed alive, thankfully, because his brothers went to save him and they got arrested because the
Mhm.
law said you can't do that, but it's really because they were black. Like, let's be real. But
Right.
anyway, so I brought all that up in saying that her lineage, now we get a really good glimpse into why Beyonce is always so heavily steeped in lineage, ancestry, and the legacy that she carries on, and even why we see images of her daughters coming out on stage and how much she is like beaming with pride every time she brings them out on stage. Hearing Miss Tina's lineage and her story, and even her struggles coming up as a young black girl in predominantly white spaces, and she was, teased and picked on because she went to, I think, an all-white Catholic school and the teachers were mean to her. She went through it, and then even in that and same interview, Oprah was like, she referenced Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou would always say, even though I stand as one, I have a band of 10,000 women standing behind me, talking about the women in her bloodline who'd gone through similar things through slavery and things like that. And so all that to say, bringing it back full circle to Beyonce, when I watch the clips of Beyonce, I'm not gonna hold you, that's what I see. Like when Miss
Mhm.
Tina has started to come out with all of this stuff, it's so perfect timing that she's releasing these stories at the same time that Beyonce is bringing her 2 black daughters out,
Yeah.
and just really, and with their braids, and just showing us the beauty of the arc. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking about a present. I revisited a presentation that I did about my master's project, and when I opened it up, I centered it on bringing my people into the room with me because our people don't have the ability to be in the room with us. Yet they did the breaking. This is what breaking generational curses do, right? You could just break one, and it
Yeah.
gets you to Beyonce, right? So I'm thinking about yeah, that's those 10,000 women you standing on shoulders of, like, and I'm thinking also about how Beyonce don't talk. Like, and it's kind of like, okay, now I can see the arrogance, quote unquote, of not talking, right? What do I got to talk for? Like, already, my people paved the way for me. And even if she didn't suffer any to get to here, right here, if her story, I'm thinking about this idea of nepotism and legacy building, when you make it out and you get mad because, like, this idea of parents constantly punishing their children. And it's like, they don't even got to go through that no more. So why are you doing that, right? Are you getting jealous or mad because your child got a better life than you? If Beyonce didn't go through none of it, she got a lineage that allowed her not to go through it, right? And so I'm thinking about that as well. Dang it. Oh, and I was thinking about how we were talking about Mary last week or the week before. And it's like, who cares? Maybe she don't even like the fact that she Creole. You know what I'm saying? But she might have had to reconcile that. Like most people have to reconcile their lineage and with the abuse and with slavery and with the fact that they might have gotten however they've gotten to where they are, right?
Yeah, however they got it.
Yeah, so just thinking about that, and then yeah, I'm yes, and thinking about how Black she shows up, right? And it's like yeah, I don't know, just
No,
thinking how yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Just thinking about how Black she shows up, and it's just kind of like I heard somebody say yo wokest friend is your light skinned friend, and it's probably because a lot of us probably genuinely just don't like the fact that our history is in our face, like you know what I'm saying, all day long. So it's like, yeah, I don't want this.
Our history is in our phones. Can we put that on a t-shirt? I guess no, because that's a negative, but it makes me sad that I just mean tagging that and really pausing and sitting with that. It sometimes does make you mad that your history is in our face.
Every day, the skin, like, and it's not even like,
good.
I don't, and then I feel like there are people who like will talk about, I feel like I'm crying about light skin tears, like about the, like, you're light skin, you have privilege. I do, I know. And I don't like it. Right. And that's probably why light skinned people probably use their platform, help me, Jesus. Use their platform to help the other folk because I don't know, Raven, make it make sense for me, please.
No, that's part. I was like, oh, she digging now. I didn't. Woo, she took us somewhere.
They finna cancel us for real.
Real for, and they don't even know what's coming down the line. But no, yeah, that's good though, because honestly, what you're speaking to is a lot of the criticisms that we see Beyonce receives or people lodge toward her because of her harkening back to the Creole roots, right? And even, I mean, that's just one of the thousands of criticisms that she gets, nevertheless. But yet people are always questioning her Blackness. And then more recently, because she started to become so more openly militant in her politic, at least in her display of her politic, then people started to have a whole bunch of conversations around, and I'm explaining it just for people who haven't, heard about it. People start getting frustrated around the fact that, well, yeah, you can placate or you can cosplay militants and a radical Black politic, but are your actual politics in your inner life, in your actual lived life, do they mirror the stuff that you're cosplaying in your music now? Or like now that the ship has moved towards Black radicalism, quote unquote, or Black militants, is that your same politic that you practice outside of your music or the outward image? And anyway, so she gets a lot of criticism for that. And more specifically recently, because of how, she's been draping herself in the American regalia now, and the Cowboy Carter era is super seemingly pro-America on its face, unless all you got to do is just peel back the layer even slightly, and you see that what she's actually doing is professing that Blackness is American, and we got the right just as much as any white person to be able to wave this flag because we've contributed to the fabric and the culture of this country, if not held it on our shoulders for forever. This culture of the country is mostly because of us, meaning all the things that people consume, take, love, enjoy, all of that was mostly built off of Black people and then spun into other iterations of it. So she gets a lot of flack for all of that. And the core of all of those arguments that I just listed is questioning her Blackness or questioning her commitment to Blackness, and even trying to police whether or not hers is real, authentic, or is appropriate. And I'm not saying that I'm against the questioning, because I feel like that's what Black politic is dissent, is protest, is questioning, is pushing back, all of it. I get that. But in the same vein though, when you hear the stories, going back to Miss Tina, when you hear her story, and when you hear the lineage that she comes from and the strife that she comes from, it's no different from any of ours. And so however hers manifests, do we need to call people in and call them to the carpet when they make poor decisions or maybe predatory decisions? Whatever. Yes, we do. But also, I just get so tired of people telling Black women specifically, who have the same lived experiences as every Black person, but maybe some just differ along the margins, critiquing and being angry without really doing a full analysis of the fact that exactly what you said. I didn't choose this just as much as you didn't choose yours. We're all trying to navigate the crappiness that we inherited. So like, relax a bit. But actually, whatever, because it's not even that conversation. The point that I was saying that for is because when you know her mom's history, you know why she's so tethered to the richness of hers, and why she wants to hold on to it. And I guess, yeah, so circling it all together, we should give her that space. And she's deserved that space at a very minimum, because that's beautiful. And I'm never going to not see the beauty in it because maybe she didn't, or anybody for that matter, didn't practice the Black politic in the way that we should absolutely do it. She didn't do it perfectly. I'm just
Right.
not going to negate that because it was beautiful. Her daughters and stuff, I mean.
Yeah. And I think just speaking of her politic, we don't know her politics, to be honest. I mean, we can
Fact,
see
fact.
what we see with the Tiffany diamonds and stuff like that. We can see what we can see, right? But I think what if she I think I'm really humanizing Beyonce right now. I think also seeing her in person humanized her a lot for me. But what if she, and with this book with Miss Tina Knowles, what if she is literally grappling with the same thing we're grappling with, and we ain't even on the level of visibility as Beyonce, right? And we're just thinking about what if we were, or what if we were famous, right? Or what if we were this successful? What would we be doing? And maybe this is her grappling with and having to make choices on what freedom looks like for her and her family. And she's like, okay, well, I'm a use my platform, use it about a radical Black politic, and if behind the scenes I got to do X, Y, and Z to make sure my children, my grandchildren already rich type stuff. Like if I have to do that, then that's what I got to do, because at the same time, she also does unfortunately live in a capitalistic America just like the rest of us. And I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
think about it in a very human essence, that
Both of
that
them. Yeah.
way is that she also is trying to figure out, how do I hold my Blackness
Yep.
and hold the fact that I want my children to be successful. And that is how we get to our main topic.
Perfect. Here we go. Good job.
So we're getting to the nuance, and we want to talk through social issues that impact Black women. So on the agenda today, or what I should say is not on the agenda, is we are not talking about Shannon Sharp. We have talked about this already. Go back and listen to Rest and Preferences. But what we are talking about today is the idea that Black excellence is a myth, and what that means.
Oh, the irony that we're saying that on its face, Black excellence is a myth on the heels of talking about a Black woman who has just embodied all of what we would regard as excellent, and the Black girl magic. Yes, even though we don't even use that anymore, but it's just so ironic to say that. But we're about to make the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, really quick, before we do that though, I guess it still applies, but Black women are the only people. Yeah, this is how I'll start actually. Black women, for me personally, I'm not speaking for Morgan, I'm just sticking to my politic. Black women, for me personally, are the only ones that I don't question well, I won't say I don't question. But even when I have a frustration maybe about how hyper capitalist Beyonce is, or how maybe I don't think her stuff was performative. Was there some elements to performative to her Black militant phase and era? Maybe, but also she's a performer. But even still, even that, like with that being the pervasive truth, if I gave you that, I let Black women do what they want to do. When your great great grandmother had 10 kids by a white slave owner, I let Black women do what they want to do.
Because you have freedom to do what you want to do.
If y'all not gonna y'all not gonna create repair, give a reparation, which is recreating repair, right? If y'all not gonna do that, I let Black women do what they want to do. Like yeah, go ahead, because we can leave some space for that.
Just sit with that. Like, the amount of Black women who have had to endure physical assault. Now, I'm not taking it from Black men. I'm not taking it. You can also sit with that as well. But the amount of Black women who have had to deal with physical and sexual assault, in their bodies literally being used as harbors of hate. Like, could you imagine sitting with the person's baby inside of you and then having to love that baby, literally because it's yours, but also having to reconcile that hate that is thrust upon you, and then you having to birth that
10 times over, and then 3 of them were stolen from you. Again, because
and
that's
that's
how
just, I'm just saying, that's Beyonce's story. I mean, that's Miss Tina's Beyonce, the Knowles story.
right. But by proxy, Beyonce's too. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
how many Black women? So I'm just speaking to your politic of, like, I give Black women, also saying Black women can do no wrong
Okay.
about my.
I didn't want to speak for you, but looks like that's the politic of the show. So
Oh, she murdered somebody. What did they do?
here we go. Ooh.
What did they do? Sorry.
Matter of fact, and I'm gonna even take it a step further. Well, I guess it's still in the same essence, but yeah, even if it's problematic, and I'm like, girl, why would you? I'm gonna be like, girl, why would you have fun?
You know better, girl. Come here, let me tell you something.
Better get them next time. I don't care with my full St. Louis accent. I don't care. And it's crazy because I know for a fact that like if white people heard this or any other race have heard this, or if men heard this, black, white, or indifferent, or whomever, everybody would have a problem with that. But guess what? Everybody got a problem with us anyway.
Right. So you might as well.
Least desired on the as far as the sexual desirability so I don't care. I don't care. Black women. Okay, yeah, we said it. We said it. That's solidified. That's
When
all I
you
want
come
to
over here, just know we don't care.
It's just I do not. We
say
do
the
not
quiet
care.
part out loud.
We do not care. And also because I can hear some like academic or intellectuals or even just radical politic people who would make the case around, well, that's anti-intellectualism, that's intellectually lazy. But let me serve notice on you, Pooh. It's not. Because we can actually go through all of the intellectual arguments and academic arguments around why maybe Beyonce stuff, ticket sales and stuff has been predatory. Maybe all of the performative conversations that they've had around, even the critiques that we've heard around the American regalia phase that she's in right now, the Cowboy Carter era. I can make the substantive arguments and actually make you think that I'm on your side. And guess what? I'm not.
And she's still not wrong. Girl, wrap yourself in that American flag.
Huh? Because you could truly make both perspectives. Not this going to be the Beyonce podcast, but because you could make the case. Because I've heard arguments around, no, we don't even want to be connected to it altogether. Okay, respect. But also, since we here, no, baby, give me that flag, baby. That's mine. The autumn red stripes are mine and my mother's and her. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So no, you can make both cases. And last thing, and then we're gonna get to Black excellence. But I just thought about it because the people who try and do that, baby, it's giving real male chauvinism. It's giving real misogyny. It's giving real because you don't profess the radical Black militant politic that I profess, then you're wrong or you're excommunicated or you're not necessarily the real legitimate Black militant politic. Excuse me?
Right.
How you gonna tell a Black woman who is the great granddaughter of a woman who had 10 slave kids? Like, I'm gonna always go back to that. Like, go ahead, okay. But Black excellence, you go ahead, because girl, I used my time.
So I brought up Shannon Sharp because in the idea that so we're not talking about Shannon Sharp, but we are talking about how Black excellence is a myth because this conversation with Shannon Sharp dating a hero, and him being involved with whatever he was involved with, shows you that it don't matter how much money you make, it doesn't matter how excellent you are, how much you are how much you have talked and been in circles and all the things with the white folk. At the end of the day, especially for Black men, if you are messing with they white girls, they're going to show you that you are still a Negro. So that's why I say that Black excellence is a myth, because at the end of the day, when we show up, our skin is also here and our lineage is also here. Our legacy, our ancestors still are with us, good or bad and different. And we're not going to be able to ever separate ourselves from that. Right. So when when talking about community, and we're talking about being with your people, dang, what did we just talk about? I think it was the Sinners episode. Like, you're always, I don't even know what I was going with that, because I did connect it to Sinners kind of too.
You don't ever want to be uninvited from the cookout.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was also saying that is that, when you don't want to be at a place in your life that you're so far disconnected from your people that you are, you're uninvited from the cookout. Like, you've assimilated so much that you have disconnected yourself. And I'm not saying this is what Shannon Sharp has done, but thinking about, like, and I'm not also saying that people who are in the Black excellence realm have done that. Oh, it was the episode of us talking about families and go to Applebee's. Oh, that's what I did. I went to Applebee's yesterday.
Did you get a trio?
I did not, but we got spinach artichoke dip, and me and Desmond was like, I said, this came from a jar.
See, that be the thing. I'll be trying to hang out with y'all. I'll be trying to be the good cousin, and then I'll be like, it's freezer burnt.
But we ate our chicken and our spinach artichoke dip and all the things. And Desmond had some ribs and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm gonna talk about this on the podcast. It's like, it's
girl, ribs from Applebee's are absolutely fibs, but it's okay because
We was both like, we've had better. And that's the point. We know we've had better.
Yes, yes.
But we don't want to, I think a lot of times when people do this idea of black excellence, they often leave behind the quote unquote, again, ghetto family members are the people, and I'm not going to keep saying ghetto family members, but they leave behind the people who are not also black excellence, right? And that, I believe, really is a harm for our for us, because you need your cultural roots, you need your people, you need to be around people who understand what you have gone through, and constantly trying to dismiss that, or constantly trying to ignore that you are black in America, you've gone through X, Y, and Z, your family has gone through X, Y, and Z, and even being in spaces where we don't, if we're surrounded by black people and we don't talk about that or recognize that and truly examine it and think through how that allows us to show up to where we are, I think that does us a disservice. And that's why I say I don't want to be so successful that I'm uninvited from the cookout, because I don't want to have this mindset ever that I've made it, quote unquote. I've made it out of my blackness. No, you have not. The blackness is always there. And yeah, I think that's where I'm standing right now.
No, actually it is. So let me just set this in the room too. We're gonna have a lot of we're gonna sit things in this episode, because black excellence is all black people. If you're able to live here with the history, some of which we just talked about with Beyoncé and her mother, and how her great great grandmother was a mother of 10 children that produced by her slave owner, to be able to survive that is excellent. And then not only survive that, but then to produce children who then go on to create the culture that America now gets to benefit from. The music, the church genres, the food, the essence, the sounds, all of it. Styles, all of it, to come from that and still be able to produce a country that now is able to stand on these firm feet and say, we are the superpower of the world. And we have the fastest growing, we're not fastest growing because we're not anymore, but the most booming economy. That can only happen if you are already excellent, right? If everything about you, good, bad, or indifferent, has been able to bolster a place to that degree, you're excellent. So I say it that because when we say that black excellence is a myth, it's not that those literal words by very definition aren't true, but rather the frameworks that they're steeped in or stand on, that we now understand them through, are what's mythical. Right. There is no such thing as a black person rising beyond their blackness to the degree that this country, or the powers that be, if you will, don't see that when they're engaging with them. I know we talked offline about how I heard somebody saying that Shannon thought, we're not talking about Shannon, but he thought that the higher you go, the only color they talking about is green. That's not true. And not because they're saying, oh yeah, this black man can't, although there are people that do, but more so because you can't dismiss the implicit biases that exist when you see certain racial groups. It's just a fact. And some of that is not even racism. Is racism parts of why it's so, the problems that exist within it are so exacerbated? Yeah. But sometimes there are just biases because we're humans. And then once you see a person that is a certain color, you have these thoughts, perspectives, inclinations, fears, desires, whatever, that go along with that. So saying that to say, you're not going to rise to a economic status, a social status, a class status, all the statuses that you can create, a professional one, that would remove that truth from you.
Right.
It's just not realistic, and it's not possible. So it's not that we're saying black and excellent can't go together definitionally, but rather the frameworks that we've built it on. Makes sense, I hope.
Yeah, and I think it's one, again, redefining what excellence looks like and redefining what success looks like. And if you're trying to build it, like you said, build it upon like these frameworks of what like excellence looks like, then it's impossible, because you're never going to be again, you're never going to have enough money to not be black. And I think just this, not talking about Shannon Sharp, this idea, this example of him is that like made you I think that's what I'm really grappling with, is what made you think as a 50-something-year-old man you could even dream of getting away with talking to a 19-year-old white girl, right? Desmond was like, well, Hugh Hefner could do that. That is literally the point, right?
Exactly.
The point is, that's one of them. That's one of theirs, right? And there's just certain things, that as a black person, it's just like the history, right? The history of things. Like you think about Emmett Till, the lie of him whistling at a woman got him killed, right? So it's like, why would you not think that they're going to protect their women? Right? I don't know how else to say it. Like you just don't do
I heard
certain things.
I heard a guy this week say, Funky Dunny Val actually said, I watch him on YouTube. He said a lot of times black men treat white women like how women treat a Louis Vuitton bag when they walk in the room. You know, like if you walk into a room and it's like a,
Yes, I got the thing.
and I was like, so he said he said it's two things. He said it's two things. He said they often are the Louis Vuitton bag, like how we feel about Louis Vuitton bags, or if you whatever your designer preference is. And so that makes them feel good. Status symbol. Second one, he said, oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say it and then if we need to
Oh,
edit
yeah.
out, we will.
Oh,
Oh,
already know.
okay. Like what? Oh, you do you really?
Like you conquered them. No?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. It's well, then it's three. But yes, because I actually forget, and you just made me remember. So thank you. The second one is, yeah, it's like I know I can't be on your level, black white man, but
Yep.
guess what I can do? I can take your girl. So that part. And then the third one, he said, or you're gay. And he said that because I know, but not even on no, like, it's not about shame about it, but it's
Right.
just about, because he was like, because he said, take it or leave it. And fucking he was gay too. He said, take it or leave it, like it or love it. I mean, like it or hate it. There are certain innuendos, idiosyncrasies, and demeanors and behaviors that straight black men or heterosexual black men develop and have. Again, like it or leave it and be angry about it as you will, but that is a fact. And there are certain types like, and so anyway, saying that to say when a black man deviates from that, it is something to be like, wait, are you okay? And not to say that you have to be, not to say that you have to be in that bubble, but as it stands, people exist within contexts and frameworks. And so we know it's like, that's not something that usually heterosexual men typically say or do. I wonder what that is. I wonder that gives me pause. As a black woman, we have those perspectives, but as a white woman, you won't be able to pick up on those idiosyncrasies as swiftly as we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I kind of want to add four. The fourth one is the the black man whose mama did them so wrong and they got this big mother wound. I'm gonna just go over to white women, right? Subconsciously, right? You just love black women. You just love this white woman so much, and it's because she didn't hurt you.
Yeah, that mommy woman's a big one, honey. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
No,
But
that is good.
it's a status symbol, and I was also thinking
Yeah, I loved that.
yeah, I think it was a video I saw that was talking about how black men, well, men in general, use their women as objects. Period.
Oh,
So
yes, for
and
sure.
that's why when we ask men oftentimes what do they like about their women, it's what they're doing for them. That, oh, she cooks, she cleans, she makes all the things for me, she does the things for me, right? And it's like, what about her personality do you like? So when they have used this black woman enough to get to where they want to go, so that's what they were talking about, the switch of black men having a faithful black woman until they get famous, and then they switch to white women, and it's because they want to go higher and they want to like have that status symbol that they are made it evolve. They got their, so puts them in
Yeah.
different rooms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's like I said, maybe it's just because I don't really think about them in this lens or if that much at all, especially in this context. I hadn't like hearing all of those just throughout the week and even now just were like, man, yeah, that's yeah. And it hurt me more. So actually I can't even, but to circle it to the excellence thing so we can keep it going. We need to dismiss black excellence as it stands right now because it creates too much dissension between whatever the opposite of excellence would be, right? And then it leaves us in this constant state of striving. Not that that's the only thing that keeps us in that state, but that definitely perpetuates and exacerbates our incessant need to always be better, to always to rise up and look better and to post more cool things about what we're doing and working on and how much we've leveled up beyond the lowly blacks, quote unquote. And that's just a dangerous thing, especially let's talk numbers just for 2 seconds. Baby, we are only 13%. And actually it fluctuates between 12 and 13% of the population here. We can't afford to be divided amongst the ranks.
Right.
Sometimes I'll be hating these conversations around like, we not together, we divided because we try and pathologize something that's everybody. Ain't no race all together or on the same politic or on the same page. So when I say we can't afford to not be together, I don't necessarily mean that we all have to have the same perspective in politics. That's corny. I'm just saying we can't afford to not be together in the sense that what is unique about black people in the whole and all mostly sun people, sun, if you know what I mean, the region that we come from, is that we have an ethic of collectivism and togetherness and familialness. Familial meaning like family ethics. That's why we all have those same stories. Like, yo, grandma had those cups too. Yo, right? Like when you're fewer in number, you have a connectivity that is a benefit. And so regardless if we all have the same politic or anything, what we can agree on, I think most people can agree on, is that collective love, that collective ethic, that even though you may be this kind of a cousin and I may be that kind of a cousin, but when we come to the cookout, we're all kind of the same because of the music, because of the history, because of the what you add on to the things. We need to hold on to that. And I think what Black excellence does, especially as it stands, is it disrupts that a bit. Not completely, because that's why the cookout has always been the cookout. But if we're not careful separating the greats between the knots, that's not us. I'm not gonna say them. That's not us. And we need to dismiss that as fast as we can. I get the heart of it, but if you can hear our hearts here, it's just dangerous. If you're a Black doctor, go be a Black doctor and then go get back to your community. Maybe not all the time. You can still go and be great and live where you want and do all the things. We're not trying to police what you do. What I'm just saying is that Black excellence can, if we're not careful, strip away from the Black love that is so instinctual to us. And so you got to
yeah, I think I think a part of it also is that Black excellence often probably resembles whiteness, and we can never strive for a.
She's so smart. Yes,
We can never. The master's tool will never dismantle the master's house. Okay, like we can't strive for what it is that we're trying to disrupt. So that's why I think that's why I also had in the notes of Black capitalism as also a myth. So it's like that is not going to necessarily bring us freedom. And I think bringing it back to how we got partially on this as sinners is that we're thinking about what freedom is. It might be bringing all of that together instead of trying to separate it out. We do need a little money to get free. We do need a little bit of capitalism, right? But not capitalism in the sense of how
social status. Yeah.
we need platforms. We need stuff like that to bring light and to bring resources to our community. But to just stand on that as its own, that's not going to get us anywhere.
That's so good. That's good. No, actually, I'm not kidding. That's brilliant. We need all of them, but trying to use the Black excellence moniker solely for the I'm not you, I'm not them, look at me, I've made it out beyond them. Yeah, that's useless. And that does us no good. And also, it distracts us from the truth. The Black excellence, especially as it stands, requires the majority to still be in desolation and in abject poverty and struggling. And I don't want a politic associated with me that requires people's failure, right? Or for people to be left behind. It's not to say, because scripture even says the poor will always be among us. So I'm not trying to be the savior of the world and pretend like we're just going to rid the world of its ills. That's not what I'm saying. But what I can do at a very minimum is not perpetuate a mentality or perspective that pedestalizes me over people just because it makes me feel good and look good on social media. I don't got to do that either, right? Like I can be because I want to be very clear. I can be open about my successes, but what we're coming against is the philosophical perspective that our successes make us better rather than that success being something that brings us joy for the collective. So we can continue to be giving back to the collective. So we can continue to be bolstering the collective. And last thing I'll say here too, I get that people are like, we're not saying you're wrong or you're dumb for believing in Black excellence and loving Black excellence and all of the things. We're just trying to give you a new way to think. That's all. We give you nuanced takes to be able to broaden your perspective and broaden your personal politics. So that's all. We're just having a broader conversation around it. But we know people's hearts are good. But we also know some of the sinister nature of Black excellence. And we just wanted to call that out. So, yeah.
Yeah. And if I have to, I would say, again, read Brittany Cooper's book and how it can be dangerous to have a mentality that, oh, I made it, and not understand how you're making it is also pushing down other people. So yeah, you just have to like really read that chapter where she's talking about that and thinking about how we're picked again to be the excellent person and how it's a facade that eventually will be shown that when and I don't even think Shannon Sharp is getting that big of a backlash that he could be getting if we talk about, and I'm not, and I don't, I was gonna say Bill Cosby, but the band did the things that they, you know what I'm saying? But just showing you that you can do the things that these white folks do and you gonna end up in jail because you're Black. Like, so thinking that you're gonna outrun that part is not gonna work. Like, so just humble yourself in knowing that who you are in this country, where you have come from, and that you being different from Jody on the block is not going to make you too, you're not proving nothing that you're so much better or something.
Right. Yeah, no, it does. Blackness is a politic in and of itself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And blackness is revolutionary in and of itself. And like I said earlier, it's excellent in and of itself by virtue of just the history of it and what what it all even represents. So yeah, we don't have to become successful to crap on people or to leave people behind. My success is always for the collective. And like I said in the beginning, if that's not necessarily your personal politic, if you're like, yeah, Raven, but I'm tired of having to think about the collective. I just want to exist individually. And as much as that pains me a bit, because I want us to see ourselves as the collective, but I respect that. And even if you don't necessarily give back or do things in your actions to provide for the collective or to give to the collective, one, you don't got no choice because you are a part of the collective. But two, I respect that though. I respect that. So all I'm just saying is, yeah, we don't necessarily have to quail or squash other people so that we can't get to that. It could just be your thing. Just be great and go be great. And and guess what? The collective back here, we're going to be looking at them like, go on, sister, go on, bro, go ahead. You do that, black girl. And it's going to be that, period.
And if you fall, we gonna be right here.
Oh, Morgan, that's such a. Well, I always say this to you every week, but seriously, that's the pen. And if you fall, that's the beautiful part of this. We gonna always be right here. Like, yeah, and see, that's the difference between us and them. Insert them, whoever that is for you. But that is the baby. And if you fall,
And
I
we can talk
personally
about
think that's,
how
yeah,
problematic
go ahead.
it is later.
Right. We could talk. We can talk about all the right. Yes, that's true. And we actually kind of did a little bit in the rest and preferences one, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Because I don't mind. Like it's problematic, but I also think it's just innate to us too.
Mhm.
So things that are innate, you can critique and alter and shift it to make sure that you're protecting a gift. But I think it's a beautiful gift that Black people, Black women specifically have. We are, yeah. I think it's beautiful. It just needs to be protected.
It's like, dang it, they thought they was different. They tried. Come on back around.
Right.
And I think
Man, yeah. Go ahead.
I also speak from experience of before I went off too far. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, pull it back in, pull it back in.
Same, same. I think so much of that though is our faith tradition, and right, yeah. I'll put this on Christian ethic for a second. I think it's in general, but because if you really think about it, yeah, Black women are so forgiving. We're so forgiving and warm. Even though we be brute and aggressive, we still, it's aggression because it's passion. It's because there's so much passion behind the love. It's filled with love. That love just invigorates us and makes us so passionate. And we always hear like, boy, get your stupid stuff over, whatever. And yeah, we talked about this in Rest and Preferences, but I'm just saying that to say, I love that. When I think about it, independent from any people that have abused it, any people that have manipulated, if I just think about it in its essence, in its purest form, how forgiving and loving Black women are. I think about even growing up in church and, you just when you would feel like, oh, I've strayed too far from God, even though some of that's problematic too, watch my videos, but just them Black mamas, them Black mothers of the church, just pulling you right back in and the ethic of love that just permeates those spaces. Not always. Again, I know it hasn't been perfect. That's not what I'm arguing for, but it's just unique to us. And yeah, I love it.
That didn't have really, I think that wrapped it up. I think it's so funny that we
No,
like
we did.
always bring it back to the humbling, not the humbling, the basis of
Uh-huh.
thing. I was just looking at Potomatic and seeing like, our numbers.
Huh?
They're in the teens, but they're going up.
They're going up. No, because at some points it was like 5s and 4s.
Right.
So yeah. No, no, babes. We are like, this is going to be and then to that one day where like it's gonna be one clip, so yeah.
Are we wrapping this section? Are we good?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I think that was good.
I think that was good too. So moving on to our book recommendation. Do you have something? Because I actually do not.
No, I was thinking. I'm literally looking at my bookshelf. That's why I'm over here like this.
It's pressure.
Hold on, wait, hold on. Let me pause it because I want to think for a second. So I don't have a book suggestion. I mean, technically it is a book, but I haven't read the book. I've read the article though. I mean, the article is an excerpt from the book. So it's called "The Myth of Meritocracy Runs Deep in American History or American Roots" or something like that. But the myth of meritocracy. I think it was Kimberly Foster where I first heard about him and this article, and it's by Jeff, you're right. So it's not necessarily about Black excellence, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about the myth of meritocracy in general. It's more so talking about America and how we be lying, talking about we're a country built off of meritocracy, when meanwhile, everything, every person, every group of people that we built this country off of, like our wealth meaning, we're all oppressed people. You can't be saying that you're a successful country when you're literally standing on the tops of people that where their backs are broken. That's just not real. And it's self-inflated. So anyway, that book, again, it's an indictment more so on American culture and capitalism. He's not necessarily not a capitalist, but he's saying if we're going to regard this as the pinnacle of how we should do economic systems and the countries in general, then at least make it regulated and at least do something good so that way we can actually bolster about it or profess it confidently without having to lie and close our eyes to the other side. Oh, it's so good. You know, so, and I think again, that's not necessarily specific to Black people, although he does reference us a lot, but it's more specific to the principle of what we're saying too, which is we don't get to just be like, oh, I'm a Black doctor. Like, wait a second, gotta be honest, just gotta be honest at a very minimum. So
Thanks. If y'all don't know, we come off the dome every week with these. Sometimes it's a struggle.
but you know what? It's because though, in the conversations, we're real smart girls. Again, the conversation, it'll deviate. And I'm like, oh, no. I got an actual book that'll go even better with that. So that's why it's like, actually, I sometimes come in maybe with one every now and then, but mostly it's because, baby, we'll go. And yeah.
So we are moving into what are the girls saying? Fun. So we got our first email this week, and I did have permission to share this. I did say that if ever anybody emails us, we will just lead with anonymous. So I'm just gonna, because I didn't get explicit permission to say their name, so I'm just gonna read it. And they reference our episode from April 7th with called "To the Black Women in Marvin's Church." So it says, "Hi, I'm catching up on episodes as I sit in my car waiting for my kiddo. I want to say that this episode made me think of how I felt about Marvin Sapp. You both flipped it in a different way, stating that we as Black families have said that saying what goes in this house stays in this house. I at first was puzzled and judging Marvin, but hearing you all flip it and say, well, we do have to support the church, he could have reframed it. Also, I am not very religious, but more so spiritual, and y'all made me feel okay about that. Stating to read the Bible, read the book, but it didn't feel like pressure." Okay, great. My 13-year-old daughter reads it daily and prays, and it is beautiful. And is so beautifully passionate about her faith and never has gone to church really. She shows me daily that it's not necessarily about church, but the word. Keep it up. You all are doing amazing. So that was our first email.
Oh, you didn't read that to me. I mean, I'm hearing this in real time with you guys.
There's so much here that we can talk about.
Right? No, seriously. Right. You know what? And I guess that is what this segment is for, because typically it's just like
us talking in circles. We have nothing.
It's so true. I'm like, what do we do with this?
Email us. You got an email. Now you don't know what to do.
And the thing is, because it makes me so happy, I don't even know how to I'm like, all right, I need to engage with you, sis. Well, first of all, thank you for listening. That makes us so happy. We're going to calm down in a second, but thank you for listening. And she said, finally catching up. Come on, catching up. Come on, listen to all of them. But with regard to just a few things that stood out to me, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts too. The first one is, I appreciate you saying that we gave you another perspective to think through as far as like what happens in the Black house stays in the Black house, and how that culture, of course, permeated into the church. At least that's where I'm assuming you were saying with that. Maybe I could be wrong. And yeah, so a lot of that, even though in error or not, and we know that we've made some errors in the Black house, so much of that is just our culture, and we do what we do. Like I said, error or not, is still worthy of conversation, but in the same way that it's worthy of conversation, it's worthy of grace. Not saying that we just have to absolve him of wrongdoing, but also we can just have some grace for each other, because we be doing stuff, and more importantly, we need to develop our own personal politics and ethics, so that when we feel discomfort with something, we know how to critically think through it, create an analysis, and make a choice based off of that, rather than what the noise is saying culturally, or anywhere for that matter. So yeah, and then the last one is, I love that you're saying that your daughter reads daily and that she's invoking faith feelings or thoughts about faith within you, regardless of where you are. I think you're exactly where you should be. The fact that the existential, or you've tapped into that mind of, shoot, what's happening beyond this space? What's happening in the metaphysical space? I think that's the best place to start with faith. And I'm not just saying that haphazardly. I really mean that. Faith really comes from where my knowledge stops. That's where my faith begins, right? And so now what next? And I think that's the best place. Faith is humility. So starting from a place of, I'm not sure, that's the best place, because now you're acknowledging that I'm humble and that there is things to be uncertain about. And I think that's where God works best, honestly. So I love that. Thanks for your comment or email.
I do appreciate the email as well, and especially the perspective thing also, because we are here for the nuance. Like, that's all we want to do. We want to challenge people to think and think differently and think critically, and give space for people to sit with uncomfortableness. So I'm glad that that was said and we were able to like do that or help you think through that. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's where I just appreciate people supporting us.
Yeah, we honestly, I'm so excited. Yeah, I know I am. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, let me go see how our numbers are doing. Like, I'm checking the numbers and all the time things all the time. So yeah, I appreciate you listening and emailing us. We've had some support on the internet and the interwebs this week as well, and it just made our little hearts jump for joy. So I'll share mine. I did. So listen, I've always been a shoot your shot kind of girl. I was like, for every book we have done, I have tagged the author, and I'm just like, maybe they'll repost it. And of course, the first person that reposted our book, and it actually accepted invitation to be a collaborator, which means if you are not familiar with Instagram, that when you make a post and they invite somebody else to be a collaborator, it also will live on both pages. Brittany Cooper accepted our collaboration and reposted us on our story and everything, and she followed us. Yeah, okay. Raven was like, okay, I know you're Saya, I know you with your family, but did you see that she followed us? I was like, I did not see that she followed us.
No, I actually, I caught, because again, it's nighttime. My girl got a family. I don't play about families. That's family time. When you're in bed with your mans, that's it. But I was like, babe, answer the phone. We gotta answer that. And she did. And like, it was serendipity. It was meant. I was like, she just followed us. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were talking about how that speaks to the ethic of Black women and probably just how Black women just support. Like, and I'm like, I'm just gonna tag her. Let's see what happens. And I was 3 seconds away from not inviting her as a collaborator, but I was like, whatever, we'll see. And it happened. So we did a little bit of numbers on that one. So I'm like, but listen, y'all, the people who were watching it were also other dope Black women. And I'm just like, oh my God, these are the people we want to reach. But not saying, okay, then I just did it. I just did the whole excellent thing. I just did it. I'm so sorry. But
can we leave it in if that's okay? Because I like that wrestle. Yeah, we're wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's more so like when you've been in academic spaces and you know how rigorous academia can be.
Yes, there it is. Come on.
Me and Raven, I kind of also always like, dang, do we sound smart enough? You know what I mean? Are we making a good point? So to have people who are also listening to us that can also help wrestle with these conversations as well is like what we want. So I appreciate this person wrestling with us as well, like with them wrestling with our conversation. But on the flip side, can these arguments be held up in academic spaces, right?
Yeah.
So to see that. Wow.
Let me just say really quick on that, because I don't want us to move past this moment. And academic spaces matter. I know we're in an anti-intellectualism phase and era in our country right now, and we try and diminish academics. And what is an academic? People who study a specific issue, area, or field and become experts in that space. The word expert actually does have meaning and relevance, right? Just because there are podcast mics now in abundance and people get on them and say words does not mean that they are experts in it. Even if you sound confident, even if you sound loud, even if you use big words, I don't care. That doesn't necessarily automatically equate to expertise. It just doesn't. There is a framework and a system that we've developed that that legitimizes expertise. And we could critique it all day long, but ultimately studying something for multiple years and then writing a dissertation about it does matter. And that's the reason why so much of our personal politics, so much of our perspectives about so many things, psychology, sociology, finances, everything came from a specific discipline and a person who studied vigorously for years in that discipline to give us these bite-sizable words that we are now able to just espouse off the cuff. That's because somebody studied it. So, yeah, that's why she said that. We like, when we see the doctors, women who have doctorate degrees, we're praising the rigor that it took for them to get that. And like, wow, somebody with that level of astuteness saw something that we did and validated it with okay, we must be doing something right. And it felt good and affirming. That's why. Yes, I'm glad. That was great.
That's out. And yes, we can critique what is valid, but also we can critique academia, but it is worth something. It is worth something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's worth it.
That them velvet stripes are worth something. Okay.
You write until you write a 20-page dissertation, and I'm talking like I've done it. I'm just saying, I write a couple theses here and there, but until you write a 20-page
book.
People get them, they're published. Most people get theirs published. Until you go through 5 years to write a 20-page paper, because that's really what it is. It's 5 years to write a 20-page paper. And sometimes even less, right? But yeah, 5 years to write a paper. Until you do that, and most PhDs I know, they'd be like, my professor said this the other day, actually. Every piece of literature that exists about my specific subject area, I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10 I read it.
Mm-hmm.
Every book, article, whatever that exists about this thing, and it's super concentrated to be fair, but that thing, I've read it. And typically they do give years about it from maybe 19 blah blah blah. I've read it. We don't know that level of expertise, or we don't respect it. So anyway, because what is it? 1% of the population has PhDs. It's so small. Yeah, it's so small.
I know 13% of people have masters. I do know that.
Oh, it's 13. I thought it was 10. Yeah, even better. Well, yeah.
Not doctorates, masters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That was my support on my side of the internet.
Yeah. Well, so mine is from a new follower that we have, subscriber that we have, or maybe she's not that new because she was she watched some episodes. But anyway, Cutie TV. She shared our video, and she's a pretty big platform too. Shout out to her because she does all the celebrity news, celebrity gossip. So anyway, I was like, okay, girl. And she has a pretty big following too. And she found our stuff and she watches our videos. And she said they were one of her favorite podcasts. And I just, and she even went through our Instagram and was liking stuff and comment. It just makes me feel good. And for somebody to even say that we're one of their favorite podcasts is what? But so shout out to you, cutie girl, Cutie TV. Appreciate the love. We're so grateful. And yeah, girl, keep doing your thing too.
And she reposted us to her followers, and one of her followers came to us.
She did. Right. Yeah, she was just she said, oh, I forgot it, but it was essentially showing love. Yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here too, girl. Love, truly, all love.
Well, that is our episode this week, you guys.
It is.
So that was a good episode.
That was a great episode. And people are getting to know us more, so we get to riff a bit more and have fun. And people gonna know I love this. This is great. No, this is a great episode. And why this matters.
Oops.
Should we close it? Should we close it or keep it?
We gotta do why this matters.
Fair. So, you can go first. Why does this matter to you?
This matters to me because I don't want us to continue to strive for something that is a facade. I don't want us to continue to strive for things that ultimately would disappoint us in the end. So I want us to redefine what excellence looks like for us, for yourself, and be cool with that and be honest about it. Redefine that and then go for that. And not just hope that your definition of excellence has your people in it, has the people who might not be as successful as you, and that you that you remain solid to who you are. So just creating your own ethic and living in that, but not basing your ethic on things that are a facade and that it will eventually wither away. Have some real reasons why your success is the reason why you're trying to be successful. and go for that. And again, hopefully your people are bringing your people with you.
Yeah, I love that. Echo all of that for me. Go ahead.
But not in the sense of you're trying to bring them up to a standard of excellence. You're bringing them with them because you just love them for who they are, what they got going on. You just love the blackness. You just love the black folk.
No, echo all of that too. And I'll say it matters to me, or it matters for me because Black excellence is Black people, period. And so we don't have to isolate it and make it something more grandiose than it already is, because as it stands, as we exist presently, we are excellent. Although I hear people's hearts, we needed to dismantle it so that our present state of being can get rest. We can be excellent in a rested state. And when I say rest, I just don't mean necessarily like actual sleep, but I mean that desire to perform so that people can see our virtue, right? What you said the last episode, virtual signaling. Our excellence deserves rest. And I think as it stands right now, Black excellence doesn't necessitate or give space for rest. And I think that's unfair. And so I want us to have rest. And rest for Black people looks like freedom to do what you want to do, not to perform for the standard so that you can fit into the Black excellence box. Freedom to do what you want to do, freedom to pursue what you love, freedom to not do stuff, right? I want rest to be Black people being, doing, looking, talking, smelling, feeling how they want to feel. And that requires us to untether ourselves from a Black excellence that was really rooted from some like delineations of white stuff anyway, like you said earlier, remnants of white stuff rather. And so, Black excellence is Black people already. So we don't need to create a thing. It's already a thing in and of itself as we stand. So,
So now, thank you all for joining us. So, What's on the Agenda podcast. Again, we want to hear from y'all. You can email us at what's on the agenda podcast @gmail.com, or you can follow us on all platforms except for TikTok. Morgan is going to
that's funny.
at What's on the Agenda pod.
Bye.